Look at this old Corvette. Nice shape. There's the horses that you see from Yonge Street. Look at all these little punks.
Watch the step, guys.
Watch the step, guys. Okay, so how do I get into Mount Pleasant Cemetery on a bike? Right here. Perfect. Mount Pleasant Cemetery. This is a huge cemetery. There's 2 Victoria Cross people interred in Mount Pleasant. George Fraser Kerr and Billy Barker, Canadian aviator from the First World War. And I believe George Fraser Kerr garnered his VC in the First World War as well. I've been to both of their graves. I'm gonna have to confirm about George Fraser Kerr, First World War. I can't remember them all. I've been to 27 of them, VC's graves, so I just seen an interesting grave. I'm gonna go back and show it to you. And there's interesting graves in a lot of cemeteries, this one especially. I'm just gonna walk my bike over. So I'm assuming who's ever buried here was a firefighter. Brothers who stand together cannot fall alone. Look at this memorial. Jason Edward Winston Churchill. Huh. January 17th, born 1965, and he passed away on June 10th, 2015. That is something. That is something. Wow. So yeah, I just seen that from the road just coming in. I haven't been in the cemetery more than 30 seconds and I noticed that. Now, I didn't know who this person was, but I've done, well, I Googled his name, and there is a write-up for him, and this marker, this, you know, unbelievable monument to him is on the internet. And apparently Jason was forward thinking. He was a forward thinking guy, and he always envisioned drones to be part of the firefighter equipment with regards to using them for from a safety aspect. So he was a firefighter. Apparently this is what his comrades said that worked with him. He was a firefighter. If he said something, you know, you'd take notice, you'd listen to him, because he was always a forward thinking guy. Now, he didn't die in the line of duty, but he kind of did. His death was deemed a line of duty death. He died of cancer. So with a lot of first responders and especially firefighters, getting cancer, it certainly is you know, an occupational hazard. So his death was deemed in the line of duty. I'm glad I came across this. This is quite a memorial, let me tell you. Unbelievable. Good for him. So I'm going to continue with my ride. Mount Pleasant is a very, very large cemetery. There's so many beautiful tombstones and markers that it's almost impossible to keep up with them. Like, you know, you turn to the next corner, you look right, you look left, and bang, there's another one. Look at this thing here, Massey. So I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this has something to do with Massey Hall. Wow, look at this thing. Look at this crypt. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's like a castle built in the middle of the cemetery. I'll do a little research on this individual here, Massey, the Massey family. Wow. No rhyme or reason to where I'm going. Some very prominent people were buried here. Yeah, of all the cemeteries I've been in, from coast to coast, I would say by far the ones the ones I've been in, by far this has the most impressive tombstones, markers. Mount Herman Cemetery in Quebec City is very nice as well, with regards to old large tombstones. Okay, so now I'm coming up to the mausoleum, and I've been in this mausoleum before to visit the final resting spot of Billy Barker. William Billy Barker, like I said, well, I don't know if I said it earlier, but I'm going to say it again. He is Canada's most decorated military person. And there's his little, this is the outside of the mausoleum. William Barker, VC, 1894-1930, the most decorated war hero in the history of Canada and the British Empire. So, you know what? I don't have a flag, but I've been to his crypt inside here, and I have placed a flag for him. But I didn't do a video, and one day I will do a video. But there's another grave I want to check out, see if I can find it by memory. Look at this. This is obviously the mausoleum for the Eaton family. I don't see, okay, so over here, over there, I don't see Timothy Eaton on there, but I think I passed an Eaton back here. Let's see if that's Timothy Eaton's. I didn't want to stop because there was a lady walking by, and she was training, and I didn't want to interrupt her. Like, I mean, fitness training. Okay. Oh yeah, this cemetery is unbelievable with regards to the names and the history. Now, I would have to assume that Timothy Eaton, Robert Eaton, okay, I don't know. I'll have to look into it, but I thought Timothy Eaton was the owner of Eaton's department store. I don't see anything there, but you'd have to assume Timothy Eaton would be buried in that giant mausoleum over there, you would think. Now over here on this side is a marker with the inscription Weston. So let's go see if we can find some information on this. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. This is Galen Weston's grave. Galen Weston is buried here. If you don't know who Galen Weston is, he is the owner of Loblaws, or was the owner of Loblaws, the grocery stores, amongst other things. Huh. Wow, very nice. Continue on. Moving west from the Eaton's crypt, I'd have to say this is Billionaires Row. Not Millionaires Row, Billionaires Row. Look at these. Surname on that one's Cox, C-O-X. Robertson. Just. Davies. J.H. New, N-E-W. Clark. Robert Emmett Kelly. These names might ring a bell to someone. Those names don't ring a bell to me. Wow. Well, I'd be remiss if I was in Mount Pleasant Cemetery and I didn't pay respects to probably, well, him and William Billy Barker, the two Victoria Cross recipients interred in this cemetery. You know what? I wouldn't feel right if I didn't come by and pay my respects. Unfortunately, I don't have a flag for him today. I didn't think I was going to be coming by here, but regardless, I've been by here before. I placed a flag for Mr. Kerr before. I placed my commemorative Victoria Cross coin on top of his tombstone. My godson is now the owner of that coin. I gave it to him for his birthday, his 16th birthday. He's born on Remembrance Day, so that coin was on 24 Victoria Cross graves. There about, I think 24, yeah. But anyhow, I'll do a little bio with Mr. Kerr. So okay, so George Fraser Kerr, he garnered the Victoria Cross during World War I. On September 27th, 2018, he was in command of the Left Support Company in attack at Bourlon-Wood, France. He led his company with great skill and gave support by outflanking a German machine gun which was impeding advance. Later, near Arras, Cambrai Road, the advance was again held up by a strong point. Far in advance of his company, he rushed this point single-handed and captured 4 machine guns and 31 prisoners. For conspicuous bravery and leadership, he was promoted to captain and awarded the Victoria Cross by King George V at Buckingham Palace in May of 1919. After being discharged from the Canadian Expeditionary Force in July 1919, he returned to Toronto, began working for a company supplying metals. He was involved in the local militia, serving in the Toronto Regiment, in which he was a captain. That's just a brief synopsis. There's his VC, military cross with bar, and what's that? Military medal. I do believe. I think the MM's military medal. But it's a nice, very nice tombstone. Someone's been here to clean it up. You can see someone probably took some muriatic acid to it, maybe. But look at this. For valor. Gets me kind of choked up. Very nice. It's a very nice memorial. So I'm glad I came by. So if you come in to pay your respects to George Fraser Kerr, he is in plot 14, section 36. So he is east. You come through the Mount Pleasant gates, but it's it's on the east side of Mount Pleasant. You don't go west. You'll see the Steve Stavros memorial on the west side. You want to come in through the east. And so what I'll do, I'll come back to the road here and I'll show you a little more detail, because this one's a little tricky to find. But I've been here before and I found it actually pretty quick the first time. So you're going to see a large tree with plot 20 on it. And you're going to see a tombstone marked Reed. It's a big rose-colored tombstone, and beside it's Miller, another rose-colored tombstone with looks like, what do they got on? Oh, it looks like a Mason, the Mason symbol on it. So you're going to come up behind the Reed tombstone, and there it is right back there. So it's kind of off the road. My memory, when I was here the first time, I thought it was close to the road. So that kind of screwed me up a little bit, but quite honestly, I'm not patting myself on the back, but I'm so astute at looking at finding the Victoria Cross symbol from a distance. And that's what, when I rode by, boom, that's what I seen. Was that, and it's not the clearest Victoria Cross symbol, but I'm so used to finding or looking for the Victoria Cross symbol. That's what caught my eye. So that's good. So now, I don't know if I'm going to see any more graves here. There's a lot more coming. So I'm glad I got to pay my respects to Mr. Kerr. Look at Steve Stavros, grave marker. Isn't that something? Who's that on top? Alexander the Great? I've seen this marker many times. You can actually see it from Mount Pleasant. And you know what? I didn't mind him as a Toronto Maple Leaf owner. I didn't have any, we didn't win a cup, obviously. He was a Freemason. He's got his Freemason symbol on there. The Royal, I guess that's his horse breeding and racing legacy. And on this side, he has the Toronto Maple Leafs. He has the Air Canada Centre, the Raptors. And up here, Leafs, Air Canada Centre, Raptors, and up here he has also his Nob Hill Farms symbol, which he obviously owned. That's how he got his money. But yeah, nice monument. So I'm just riding my bike out of Mount Pleasant, and you know what, there's just so much history here and it's hard to get out of here. So I'm riding my bike along and I notice a Canadian flag. I notice a Canadian flag on this this marker, this grave marker. So it usually means it's someone associated with the military or the government, police, fire, EMS, whatever. But this one's obviously old. So listen to this. To the memory of my beloved son, Anthony Larrett Smith, captain in the 12th Field Regiment, Royal Canadian Army, 3rd Division, Canadian Army Overseas. Born at Toronto, February 22nd, 1908. Killed in action at Caen, Normandy, July 27, 1944. Buried in the Canadian Cemetery at Benny-sur-Mer, Normandy, France. So this gentleman here fought and served in World War II, and he fell in Normandy, and he is buried there. Wow, yeah. Yeah, put things into perspective, especially with the way this country's gone. That kind of chokes me up. I'm glad to see he has a flag here. So I just thought I'd stop and share that. Killed in Normandy. Okay, carry on. Look at this old Corvette. Nice shape. Nice vet, buddy. That was a 1958. You know how I know that? Because the plate said 1958. But I would have been close on my guess anyways. I know my vet's pretty good. Here you go again. So I'm trying to get out of here, and Mr. King is buried right at the road. So Canada's longest serving prime minister and perhaps its shrewdest political tactician. William Lyon Mackenzie King was prime minister for over 21 years in 3 separate terms of office, 1921 to 26, 26 to 30, and 35 to 48. King became Minister of Labor in 1909 and party leader in 1919. He rebuilt the Liberal Party, led the nation in the Second World War, okay, that's cool, and prepared for post-war economic expansion. He died in retirement on July 22nd, 1950 at his beloved home, Kingsmere, near Ottawa. Huh. Well, there you go. So that's the plaque. Here's another plaque. Prime Minister of Canada, yeah, just a shortened version of that last one. And yeah, here it is. Simple, but well stated. Wow, it's a the history in cemeteries, they always tell a story. What's this here? Whenever you see something like this, you know it's old. This is not the oldest cemetery I've been in. The oldest cemetery I've been in is St. John's on the Humber Cemetery. I believe that was incorporated, or well, not incorporated, but it was founded in 1801 or 1802. And the oldest continuous running cemetery I've been in is St. Mark's Cemetery in Niagara-on-the-Lake. I believe, what was that, not long after 1802. It's close. It's close, but I'm going to try to get out of here now. Just gonna exit Mount Pleasant Cemetery. You know what? You could spend a week in here easily. Back on going westbound on the K. Gardner Beltline rail path. Coming over Young Street immediately. Old guy with the trekking poles, very smart to have those. Doesn't matter what age you are, you should have those. Good for your posture when you're trekking, and you can keep wildlife and people at a distance of your pole if need be.